Yeah, hi there. In this tutorial, we are going to cover Seaborn Python Visualization Library. So this is the second tutorial. Okay, so to start with, we first load the modules NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib.pyplot, and Seaborn. And then I'm just using %matplotlib inline. So whatever the graphs are generated, they are static and within the Jupyter notebook. Next is I'm loading the data. So this actually data is a market data related to the promotion done via two different ways. So I'm reading the data. Since the data is in CSV file, I'm using pd.read underscore CSV function to read the data. So the data is read and stored in this market data frame. First, I'm just checking the shape, that is the dimensions of this data frame. So it is 18211. So it means 182 rows are there and there are 11 columns. So just quickly have a look at top three rows. So this is how the data looks like. These are the columns: date, week, week ID, month. So if you see, there are columns like week and week ID. So difference between week and week ID is, so week represents uh, for the given date in which week of the year that particular date belongs to. Now, once the data reaches end of the year and it goes into the next year, again it will start from week 1, week 2, and so on. Whereas the week ID, it just continues. It doesn't roll back to 1 at the start of a new year. So that's the difference between week and week ID. Same logic is used for month and month ID. Since we already have a date column, so the other columns like week, month, year, these can easily be derived, and also this day underscore name, this can be derived from the date itself. So we don't need to necessarily store these columns, so we can drop these columns, and whenever we need, we can just simply use this date column to find out uh, week or month or year or which day of the week. So what I'm doing is I'm just dropping these columns. So market or drop, and columns, I'm specifying the list of the columns that I'm going to drop: week, month, year, day name, and I'm doing in place equals to true. It means the changes should take place within the data frame. Now I'm just checking the data type of the column. So date is object, week ID is number, month ID is number, integer. That is fine. Visitors, number of visitors is integer. That is fine. Revenue is integer. Fine. Marketing spend is float, that is okay. Promo is object. So there are two columns for which we have to make the changes. One is the date. If you see, date is the object, so ideally it should be in the form of date time. Then only we would be in a position to extract day, month, year, or other parts of the date. So we have to convert it into date time. So I'm just using pd dot to underscore date time. I'm specifying the column market date and storing the result back in market date. So this will convert date column into date time column. Next is the promo column. So let's have a look what actually this promo column contains. This contains the whether the promotion was done or not. So it is no promo, that is one value. Other is if the promotion was done using promotion red type, or other is promotion blue type. So basically two types of promotion schemes are there. One is promotion red and promotion blue, and third obviously is no promotion was done. Okay, so the same thing I'm doing here is I'm just using this variable market.promo, and I'm doing value underscore counts function. So what this function does, it actually counts the number of data points belonging to specific category. So there were 74 records for which there was no promo, and 54 records where promotion code was blue, and the 54 records where promotion type was red. Since this is categorical in nature, so what we have to do, we need to convert this particular column into a categorical column. So how do we do this? We say market and the column name, it's promo dot s type, and within bracket category. So this will convert this particular column into a categorical column, and I'm storing result back in the same column market promo. Another thing we notice is in the in the data frame, there is one column marketing spend, in which there is a space between marketing and spend. Ideally, I like to remove spaces in the column names. I prefer to replace a space with underscores. So this is what I'm doing here is I'm just renaming the column using market dot rename function, and within the function we are specifying the columns to be renamed. So there is only one column, marketing space spend, to be renamed as marketing underscore spend, and the changes should take place within the data frame. That's why in place equals to true. So now we have done with all the changes, and the data is ready. So just before we proceed with the visualization, let's have a quick look at the data type of all the columns. So market or D types. So we see date is now in the date time format, which is what we wanted. Other columns were correct, and promo is in the form of category. This is what we done. We converted it into categorical column, and this particular column market spend is now coming as market underscore spend. Now, okay, all our data frame is ready. Now, just do one more check whether any column has any null value or not, and if it contains a null value, then how many records are there which are null. So how do we do this? We say data frame dot sna dot sum. So it will, wherever there is a null column for that particular column, it will just come as true, and then this sum is going to sum up all those uh, any values. Since none of the columns had any null value, so we are getting 0 for all the columns. It means there is no any data or no missing data in any of the columns, which is good. Now just have a final look before we proceed with the visualization. Just doing market.head will display the first 5 records. Now this is the date, week ID, month ID, number of visitors, revenue generated, uh, amount spent on the marketing, and the type of the promotion done. So that is fine. Now we are ready to go ahead. Now before that, if you notice, there is a date column. So I just wanted to see if this date column is unique within the data frame. So what I am doing is I'm just finding out the length of market.date, and the number of unique values is present in this particular column using market.date.n unique. This comes out to be true. It means this particular column is unique, so we can identify any record just based on this date column. So I thought, why not to make this particular date column as an index. So I'm just setting this as index. So market dot set underscore index. The name of the column is date, in place equals to true. And if I see the data frame now, so we see date as coming as the index. So earlier, if you notice, in the index we were getting numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that has been changed to the date column, and rest of the columns are coming as the columns of the data frame. So this date is the index, and index label, and other columns are the column labels. Great. Now we can go ahead with the visualization. First, I'm just using sns.set. It will just do the default setting of color, themes, etc. for Seaborn, and I'm using a specific style by saying sns.set underscore style white grid. Okay, now we'll proceed with our first visualization. So first is the line graph. Okay, so the line graph is used to find out a trend between the two variables. So what I'm trying to do here is I am trying to find out a trend uh, of the revenue that was generated over a period of time. Now I want to find this trend on the weekly basis. So on the x-axis I want the week ID to come, and on the y-axis I want the revenue. So the way to generate the line plot is sns.lineplot. That's the name of the function. On the x-axis we specify the variable which we wanted to appear on the x-axis, which is the week id. Y-axis we are saying revenue, so y equals to revenue. Now confidence interval I'm saying as 90%. So you see this shaded portion that actually represents the confidence interval, which is 90%. Default is 95%. I wanted 90%, so I'm just changing it. So in a way you will come to know how to change the confidence interval if you want to, by using CI parameter. Next is data, which is the name of the data frame. So all these columns belong to this data frame market. And then I'm just simply setting the title ax.set underscore title as weekly revenue trend, and just displaying the plot using plt.show. So this is the weekly revenue trend. So it's going up and down, and finally it goes down. So it's kind of a mixed trend. It goes up and then come down, and so on. Okay, let's proceed further now. Since we know there are three types of promotion types, one is basically no promotion, and other are the two promotions type, red and blue. So I thought let's now to break this revenue line based on the type of the promotion that was done. So we just want to find out based on whether the promotion was done or not, or if it was uh, done, whether it was red or blue, then what was the revenue generated on the weekly basis. So if you see, this is the kind of the plot that we are looking for. So this represents a week ID, and again on the y-axis we have revenue. So now instead of one, I'm seeing three lines. These three lines belong to the type of the promotion scheme. So this black line represents no promo. So when no promotion was done, this was the revenue generated over a period of week. You see it is at the lowest. And then when promotion red was done, this is coming above this black line. So it means the promotion scheme red was better than not doing any promotion at all. So and when we if we see for promotion blue, this is at the topmost. So it what it clearly suggests that definitely doing the promotion helps compared to not doing promotion at all. And if we follow promotion scheme blue, it will have a better revenue generation compared to red. So let's see how we achieve this graph. So what we have to do now, since there are three promotion schemes, now I want these colors of the lines to be customized rather than by default generated by the graph. So to do this custom generation, first I'm setting the colors as black, blue, and red. I want promotion blue to be represented by the blue color and promotion red to be represented by the red color, and no promotion to be represented by the black color. So that's why I've chosen these three colors because that matches with their name. So colors are three, black, blue, and red. Now based on these three colors, I'm generating a custom palette. So how to generate a palette? By using sns.set underscore palette, and within that function I'm just calling sns.color underscore palette, and it accepts colors. So what it does, it uh, so this is the colors, which is the list which we are passing it to color underscore palette function. It generates based on these three colors, it will generate a palette, and that palette will be set for this particular graph using sns.set underscore palette, and we are storing this palette as a custom palette. Okay, now uh, we're just doing sns.line plot. We want to draw the line plot. On the x-axis, I want the week ID, that is fine. On the y-axis, I want the revenue. Hue is promo. So the color of the lines is based on the is represented as hue, which actually is derived from the field promo. So that's why I'm giving hue as promo. Now hue order is no promo, promo blue, and promo red, because there are three promotion codes and I want them to appear in specific order because I want the colors to match with their names. So this is the order I have set: no promo for black, promotion blue for blue color, and promotion red for red color. Now Ci equals to none. I don't want confidence interval to be shown here, that shaded portion, and the palette to be used as a custom palette that we had created just here, and the data is coming from the market data frame, and setting the title revenue trend for the different promotion types. Now another thing that you notice is the legend this time is coming outside this particular graph, and how to generate this is by using plt.legend. Location is best. We have to use bbox to anchor. So this is used to generate a legend in the form of a box and outside the graph. So we are specifying the location, let x and y, and it will be generated outside this graph. Otherwise it would have come inside the graph and it would be kind of an overlap on these lines, which I didn't want. So that's why I'm putting it outside this graph, and then we are generating this graph. So yeah, that's how we generate the line plot based on the different promotion schemes. Next is we are going to compare the revenue. We are going to do a comparison between the revenue and the marketing spend on the weekly basis. So let's have a quick look. So what we want is, so first I'll show you the desired result, that is what we are looking for, and then how Then I show you the code how we actually achieve that result. So what I want is this, that's the week number or the week ID, and on the left hand side you see the revenue, and on the right hand side you see the marketing spend. So basically the theory is what we want to see is whether the revenue that was generated was how it was related with the marketing spend. So revenue generation is on the different scale if you notice, and the marketing spend is on the different scale. Okay, so we have mixed these two charts together in a one chart, so we can see the revenue trend by this blue line and the marketing spend to generate that revenue by this red line. So more or less, if you see, both blue and red follow kind of a similar trend. So yes, revenue trend was very much uh, you know influenced by the marketing trend. So let's see how we generate this particular graph. So the first thing is I'm just setting plt.subplots equals to fig comma axis. Now I'm using ax1 because ultimately we'll have two axes, one axis for this blue line and another axis for this red line to do the plotting. So so I'm using ax1 as the first axis to start with. Now there is a specific color that I want to generate for this revenue. Revenue, if you see this revenue name, revenue text, revenue line, everything is coming in blue color, whereas for the marketing, everything is color in the red color. Marketing spend name and these labels and these lines. Yeah, so I'm generating these two different colors. So for revenue color, I'm just setting a variable as revenue color as tab colon blue. So this is basically a blue color which is similar to what the blue color appears in the Tableau, which is another visualization tool. So this tab represents the Tableau's blue color. Okay. Now first I'm generating the blue line, which is for the revenue. So using sns.lineplot and saying x equals to week ID because we want week number on here, and y is the revenue. This is the revenue that we want on the y-axis, and CI is none. We don't want confidence interval. Color of this particular line should be revenue color, which is what the Tableau blue we said. Now data is coming from the market, and this should be on the first axis. That is, this figure will have two axes, so I want the first plot to appear on the first axis. So AX equals to AX1. This is what we had. Fine. Now I'm just setting the label, X label as week number, Y label as revenue. So X label as week number, label as revenue, and color of this particular Y label should be based on the revenue color. And similarly, these tick marks are again these ax1 dot tick underscore params, where axis is y. The color label should be based on the revenue color, that is the Tableau blue color. So this is how we set the first graph. Now I want to generate the second graph on the same axis. So that is ax2 equals to ax1 dot to next. What it will do, it will generate instantiate a second axis such that it shares its x-axis same with the ax1 axis. Now for marketing, I want a different color, so red color. So I'm saying I'm setting another variable, marketing spend color equals to Tableau red. So this will be a red color for marketing spend. Again, the rest of the code is same, like sns.lineplot. On the x-axis is the week ID, y-axis is the marketing spend. CI is none, don't want confidence interval. Mark color should be marketing spend color because this is marketing data. So I want the color to be used, which we have set for marketing spend, that is Tableau red. Data from the market data frame, and this time this plot should be on the second axis, so AX equals to AX2. And then setting the Y label as marketing spend, this Y label, and using this color as Tableau red. Now setting AX2 dot tick marks. So I'm setting the tick marks of which axis, of Y axis. So axis is Y, this Y axis, and which color to be used, marketing spend color, that is Tableau red. So that is done. Now I'm just setting the title for this particular graph. Okay, and the figure is tight layout, so it's tightly laid out, no extra spaces, and that's just displaying the graph. So that's how we can do a comparison between two different trends on a similar graph uh, using this code.